I'm Allie. I came out after 20 years of marriage and I have 3 kids.
I'm Melissa and I have 2 kids and I came out at 37 after an 11-year marriage.
This podcast is about coming out later and the struggles and victories that come with it.
When coming out feels like the end of the world, but it's really just the beginning.
This is the Lesbian Chronicles.
Lesbian Chronicles takes 78.
78 more technical problems from the Lesbian Chronicles. Every week there's a new drama, but I'm glad to say it doesn't appear to be my drama. At least
it's 100% mine because I keep trying to get this fucking mic to work.
It's all good.
Maybe it's just old. You know, things are designed to break after a few years, and this thing's like 3 or 4 years old now. So
it might be about that time.
Might be time for a new one.
Yeah. Well, how are things going? How was the party? Second Friday.
Second Friday was a blast, of course. I think there was even more people in there this time.
Really?
Yeah, last week we had Dariella on, who is one of the creators of Second Friday in Atlanta. And she said that the most they'd had was 580. I haven't gotten the count for last week, but it was definitely packed. I mean, if I have one complaint about the event itself, it is that the line to the bar is like so freaking long.
Wow.
Like you end up in line for like the whole time, it feels like.
I mean, you know how people like make a living hosting events, like people who have those parties that they like, that's their living. Like it does seem like there'd be such a business opportunity here.
I don't know that you can necessarily make your living off of doing that, but because I think that's one of the reasons why Second Friday is successful is that it's not every week. It's once a month, and you know, it's kind of like getting everybody in the door all at once.
Got it. Okay.
I think it's a little bit more motivating too, you know, like
like I gotta go. It's not going to be for another month.
Yeah, like if it was every weekend, then I don't think we'd have as many people.
Okay, that's good. I'll put that in my mind.
But one thing we are talking about for next month is instead of a dating game, doing speed dating.
Yeah.
I'm going to meet up with Catherine, the other creator, this weekend, and we're going to talk about
That's a great idea because then more people can do it. Mm-hmm. And then also, if it were me, I don't want to waste that much time. Like I love the idea of a speed date because I know right away anyway.
Yeah. So I feel like it will be a good, like quick way. And yeah, like you said, more people can participate. It's quick and easy. Yeah. And I haven't fully like fledged out this idea, but I have an idea of like having like a QR code on your phone where if like you do connect with someone, you guys just like exchange info like real fast, you know, like, here's my Instagram. And then you move on to the next one. So
how do you do that though? If you like, you're into them and they're not into you or vice versa. Like I like exchanging Instagram because then it's like, that's just my friend. Like I don't feel any pressure.
Right.
And if it's like, okay, here it's the end of our 5 minutes. Do I like you? Do I want to exchange Q?
I mean,
maybe everybody exchanges.
I think it could be something like we either have kind of like the green, yellow, red thing where it's like, okay, like yellow's like the friend zone. Mm-hmm. You know, green means like, let's proceed with and see where this goes. And red means like, there's no connection here, like friend or romantic, like, let's move on. Like I said, I'm still like feeling out like how it's all going to work, but I'm excited about it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
A better opportunity for more people to meet and connect and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's awesome. You could even have like, questions to like get the conversation going.
Oh yeah. I'm planning on like reading questions off, like here's your prompt for this round, like you guys discuss this topic.
I've got a game that I forget what it's called, but it's like they're really good questions on there that like get at who somebody is.
Yeah,
you know,
that's like exactly what I'm going for. It's like you don't just sit down and meet and be like, hey, how old are you? Like,
where are you from? Yeah, it's so lame.
Like, we ask like real questions. You guys talk about that for a few minutes, and then you decide what's next.
I like it.
So, we'll see.
Very cool. Oh boy, you're going to get a lot of people who want to do it.
I was going to say this kind of branches well into our topic of like friendship versus dating, like, and that fine line that we have to walk with people. And one thing that we've heard about happening is emotional cheating. Like
emotional cheating.
Those people that you're friends with, and it can cross the line especially if you're talking to this person very frequently and you start to share more things with them than your partner.
Yeah. Or start
Confide
to
in
look
them.
forward to getting together with them. You start to text them a lot, or they become almost what we've called lifeboats, where it's like someone that's kind of, you're not doing anything bad, but you're kind of keeping that person in the background in case you end up single.
And I think the big standout here is like, how do you identify people who are your friends? And how do you identify people that are those kind of, like you said, the lifeboat situation? Because I feel like you and I, our friendship, it's like purely platonic,
Right.
like, but we are each other's like go-to
For sure.
when something is like going wrong in a relationship or we need advice about something, like
Right.
even work stuff, you know, like
Anything.
but it's like there's a clear boundary with us there.
Right.
But I'm like, how does that get established in some friendships but not in others?
And I think too, like, who is safe? Like, sometimes my partner and I will get into little things where she will have confided something that happened with us to somebody that, like, I kind of consider a mutual friend, but maybe she knew them before I did, or maybe, like, there's all kinds of dynamics in lesbian relationships where it's like, you're clearly my friend, Melissa. Yes, you know my partner. Yes, you guys are friends, but clearly, like, if I ended up single, you're with me. So it's like there are those clear cut friends, but then there are the friends that kind of straddle both people. And I don't know, like, sometimes that can get a little dicey.
And like, to be clear, like if something were to go wrong, like I would still be friends,
of course,
with Maria.
Yeah.
It's just that like, I'm not sitting down with Maria and letting her cry on my shoulder in that situation. That's your role. Like, yeah, you're my person in that situation. It's kind of interesting too, because it's like, it's not like you and I ever had this clear conversation about this. It's just always been that vibe.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I don't know if that's because we met in group or what, but I have other friends that I feel like with that, you know, one of my best friends, I mean, she's straight. There's nothing happening there. Like, she's my other go-to. And there's a few other people that are like lesbian women that I'm friends with. And I know that our friendship is never going to evolve to that space.
Yeah, right. We have a mutual friend, you and I, who was in a long-term relationship with someone and then ended up with her friend. And now she's with that person. So sometimes I think about how they were friends for a long time and then ended up together.
I think it's kind of important though, too, to like, out of respect to your partner, to not be going down that path and getting closer to anyone that you maybe feel a spark with.
And it's like, you're not giving them everything. If you kind of have these back burner deals going on, then you've got, to me, more than one dog in the race. So it's kind of like your mind, you can't give full bandwidth. I also think that it's like important because even if you are, you know, when relationships break up, it's likely not the best thing to be diving into the next thing. So it's also kind of nice not to have these things going on because you need space between relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's what happens in these situations. Yes, sometimes it does work out when you know, end a relationship and jump in with a new one. But I think that a lot of the time, you know, it's gets you on the back end, you know, and you don't take that like pause between relationships to kind of like take a beat and recover and heal and then start dating.
Do you have any, does your partner have any friendships that you're kind of like, it's fine, but it's like, I'm watching this, or it makes me nervous? Like when Maria and I first started dating, I had people that on her side that I was just kind of like, I don't feel great with them until I get to know them better. Like they were just kind of, I didn't know that what the relationship was. So it would make me kind of anxious.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of anyone like off the top of my head. Like, but at this point too, like those people that are in her close circle, I know them.
Yeah, you've gotten to know them, so you feel more secure. It's not a problem.
Yeah, and like it's kind of similar. Like she knows you, you know. Like so, I think like that's maybe a good way to like combat this and combat that fear with your like in your partner is to like let them know your friends. Yeah, you know, like establish who is like on your side and who your go-tos are in these situations, but also limit who you go to when you're having like a problem in your
Right.
relationship. If I'm having an issue, I'm not calling up everybody in my phone
No,
and
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 I'm not,
asking their input.
especially with people that are like our mutual people that we're going to be having dinner with or having, like, to me, it starts to get a little bit like, I don't know, like you can to an extent if they're your complete solid people. But you and I both have couple friends that we all hang out with that it would be weird if I'm, you know, bad, not bad. I would never be bad mouthing my partner, but maybe saying something she does that bothers me. That feels kind of like a betrayal.
Totally. You have to like keep that boundary there, like if I'm going to one of like our mutual friends and being like, oh yeah, me and Marina, we're not doing too well right now. And like she snores too much at night,
Yeah.
like
Yeah. It's really annoying.
it's like, I can't sit there and expect that friend to like keep everything in confidence.
No. Or even how about the single friend that you're not that good close to yet, but maybe in your lifeboat scenario, you might not even know you're doing it. It might just be people on your radar that you're like, if I wasn't in a relationship, I might be interested in this person. So those people, to me, it seems you would never go to them and be like, yeah, I'm fighting with my
Oh
girlfriend right
yeah.
now.
I think that, yeah,
Because
maybe
it just
that's
opens the
another good
door.
point is if there is someone that you're thinking that way about, like even if it's like internally, like that does
Yeah.
not need to be someone that you're going to for advice about your relationship
No. Or even just to like vent.
or vent. Yeah,
Yeah.
even if it's like about work or something. And I think that's a lot of the time too, a lot of people have affairs at work because
Yeah.
they are getting close to people or like there's an issue at work and they're the one that they're going to all the time and they're getting closer and closer because of that. And then something does happen at home
Right.
and they're confiding in them in that way.
Yeah, or you start to just like demonize your partner. I remember I had this friend whose husband had an affair. And one thing that always resonated with me is when she was in therapy with him, like before the affair started, when they were trying to think they were fixing it. Meanwhile, he was having an affair. But the therapist said that something really common is that your partner will start to find fault in things that you do that never were an issue before. Like start to pick apart, maybe you're not doing the laundry right, or pick apart your driving. I mean, they just pick on you to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
And like she was saying that was kind of a common thing before people, like they're almost like creating a villain so that they don't feel so bad leaving.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so I think it's just not appropriate if you're venting to someone about your partner and then all of a sudden you're creating this monster that wasn't even there. It's the same person and you're just now all villainizing them to someone else.
To someone else. I think that's really crossing a boundary.
Right.
If you're making fun of your partner in some way, not on their team, I don't know. That's like a whole other level. I don't even think that's emotional cheating. That's like even worse. Here are some signs that are of emotional cheating. Because I think a lot of the time it can be such a fine line. I think sometimes people don't even like realize they're doing it.
Yep.
All right. So first one, your partner tells the outside person things they don't even tell you. Here's one, kind of what you just brought up. They're more irritated towards you after connecting with the outside person.
Yep.
So again, looking for those faults. They have a hard time tolerating brief periods of frustration, loneliness, or emotional discomfort without your relationship. So I think that's kind of the situations where like maybe you're busy at work or something and your partner ends up like reaching out to that person because they need something.
Yeah.
They often turn to the other outside person for comfort when you're unavailable. Yep. They seem to connect with the outside person more even after unresolved conflicts with you. They've been increasing the frequency of connection with the outside person. They drop hints that they wish you were more like the outside person. Oh, that's tough.
Damn.
There are gift exchanges between them and the outside person. They try to prevent you from seeing text or emails on their phone or laptop. They compare your emotional capacity to the outside person's emotional capacity. So comparing, I guess, whether or not they can handle certain things or maybe so-and-so does this better kind of thing.
Right.
They seem more detached from you after connecting with the outside person. They want less sex. They want a lot more sex, but seem detached during sex with you. They act differently when talking about the outside person. They've stopped expressing their needs. They stopped communicating with you about deeper issues. The relationship with this outside person acts as an exit from connection with you. And how long is this list?
No, these are all interesting.
They seem to have given up on facing and resolving issues with you. They use inappropriate terms of endearment with the outside person, such as miss you, baby, honey.
Good Lord.
That would set me on fire.
Hell yeah.
They minimize, deny, or mock your complaints about the outside person. They get reactive, judge you, or emotionally distant from you when you request that they create stronger boundaries with the outside person. They tell you you're too sensitive about the relationship with the outside person. Oof. You know, what's funny is like some of these are stirring up memories that I had of like dating other people.
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute, this happened to me.
I'm like, wait a minute. Like, and I'm going to take it back old school here to the 8th grade.
Okay.
When I was dating this guy who was in the 9th grade. So we didn't go to the same schools. But he like was definitely like the playboy, you know?
Yeah.
I always say he was like my Jordan Catalan kind of character, you know, my so-called life. Like, because he was just really hot and like he could get any girl. And I think he had multiple girls. I was just the middle school one.
Okay.
But I remember he kept talking about this girl and her name was like Letitia or something. And he would get mad if I mispronounced her name.
Oh, wow. He was very protective of her.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just like, who fucking cares that I said her name wrong?
Yeah.
Like, it's a difficult name. I feel I'm not even saying it correctly right now.
I'm still doing it wrong.
I'm still doing it wrong. 30 years later. It ended up that he was like seeing her too. So
wow. I think that's interesting because I'm thinking about even when I was married, my catalyst, nothing was happening, but their feelings were starting to develop. And I think some of that was even true for me. Like I did some of those things. Like gifting, definitely, you know, looking to like confide in her, like reaching out all the time. All kinds of different things.
And then also, I mean, I think we all do this anyway. Like as our marriages are ending, you start looking at every fault that your husband has. Right. Like suddenly everything is annoying.
Yeah.
And it's like things that you didn't even
that were never
before.
Annoying. And really though, in addition to that, I also, because my catalyst was so difficult, I think I also saw him as superhuman. Like I remember thinking he'd had annoying traits, but they were also things that I was like, God, there's no one that's going to be this solid of a human being. What am I doing? Yeah. So I remember feeling a lot of feelings around like that scared me a ton because it just felt like everyone I was meeting felt damaged in some way of like, God, are there any like healthy people out here?
And, you know, it's kind of interesting, too, is to think of things from like the perspective of the outside person.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the time when the people that are in that place, they get a little competitive.
Right.
You know, there's a reason why they're talking to you that much.
Yes.
There's a reason why they're there for you and accepting gifts or giving gifts. And it's because they think that there's a chance.
Yeah, you're right.
You know? And I think a lot of the time, too, they start sliding in their little digs, about your partner.
100%. And to me, it's kind of like I look back and I think about that and it just like, it kind of infuriates me that I wasn't more, I don't know. Like I remember that piece and I remember it really annoying me that she would have opinions about my divorce or my, you know, what was going to happen with the kids or what I was planning on, where I was going to live. When I bought, like she would have all these opinions and I'm thinking, you don't get to walk into my life and just now start having all kinds of opinions about what my future is going to look like, period. I mean, it took a minute. That's a whole nother episode.
I know, right? I am remembering that with one woman that I was dating, I happened upon a text message. Now this makes it sound like I was like going through her phone.
Which you were.
I was not.
Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm just a little bit. Okay, I might.
No. The phone presented itself, and I feel more like the universe presented the phone to me.
That's how I look at it
in that situation, because it was literally laying on the kitchen counter, unlocked and open to text messages.
Read me.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I happened to read some text messages between her and a friend.
She's doing air quotes.
Yeah, air quotes friend. That were literally making fun of me for speaking up about how I felt unstable about that friend. So I was like,
that's a huge betrayal. Massive.
Right?
Yes.
And I was very upset about it. And you know how like
they twist it and then it's you who's
exactly.
Psycho. Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep.
It suddenly became you betrayed my trust by looking at my text messages. And it's like, well, I wouldn't have
all
done
of a sudden
that
you're
if
apologizing.
I didn't feel weird about shit. Yeah. And so then I'm the one apologizing and I'm the one that like looks like I'm terrible. But why are you texting your friend and poking fun at me?
100%.
And that should have been when I left.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
But another year would go by. But she didn't leave.
But she didn't leave. She did not.
Oh, man.
Oh,
hindsight's
God.
2020 though.
So...
You know, like but you can paint whatever picture you want. Like sometimes Maria and I joke about like, if it did end, like there would be a million things you could say. Like shit happens in the course of a relationship that you could go back and be like, oh, but I should have seen it coming.
I should have known then.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's hard.
It is hard. And it is hard to navigate these friendships. I think we get a lot of emails about that, you know, like how do I, especially when you're meeting someone new and you're single, it's like, how do you establish that? Like, you know, someone's acting like they're interested. I think it's good to just immediately say, like, if you have to, don't just right off the gate be like, I'm not interested in you. I'm not attracted to you. But if someone's flirting, just be like, you know, like I kind of just see this as like a platonic like friendship thing. Like I think we have a lot in common. I think we could be really great friends, but I don't see it like going that route.
Right. Do you ever feel like, I mean, I've been at social events a couple of times, but I can think of two off the top of my head where we were at a party. It was somebody's birthday party. There was a gay woman there who I believe was married, but her spouse wasn't there. And she listened to Chronicles. And so she recognized my voice and started talking to me. And I could tell she wasn't hitting on me really, but like Maria was getting dicey, like a little bit, just like, this is annoying. And I remember feeling like I needed to clearly present with a partner because I think if you establish it quickly, then she probably wasn't even hitting on me, but it was like, I needed to do that. And then another thing, we were out and somebody like put their hand on my hand in like a long, like held it for a minute while we're all talking at the table. And it was just kind of like, okay, that's an interesting like approach. I wasn't really thinking anything of it, but then I was thinking like, I probably wouldn't like that if a gay woman did that with Maria and like kept it there that long. So I remember also feeling I need to quickly establish how I'm very much in a relationship. So I think sometimes too, it's just important to lead with that or don't even open the door. Like, don't even make it a possibility.
That's the key takeaway here is like, don't even open the door of possibility to this happening.
Right.
Like it is important to have friends that you can confide in and that you can talk to about your relationship, but be careful about who you're choosing in those situations.
Save it for your people. I have two. I have you and my best friend.
Same, too. Yeah. And it's like, save that for people that you know you can trust and you know, like, even if you don't feel something for them, know that they don't feel anything for you.
Yeah. Right.
You know, I think it's easy to be like, you know, this person is single and they probably want friendship. And so it's easy to be like, well, they're around, like they would hear me out about this and probably side with me and make me feel better. So I'm going to talk to them about it.
Yeah. And then it's maybe just like in the back of your head, you're human. Maybe in the back of your head, you're thinking, I kind of want to develop this relationship a little bit. I want to develop this quote unquote friendship. I don't know what's going to happen down the road with who I'm with. So I'm going to develop this friendship. I'm not doing anything wrong. I just want
But isn't that a lifeboat?
It is. That's a lifeboat. And so I think that is where you have to get clear. And if you're a confident, strong person, you don't do it.
Yeah.
Wait till it's over.
It's fucked up, man. It's like, honestly, the emotional cheating thing versus actually physically cheating, I mean, I feel like they're okay, one's definitely worse than the other, the physical, but I do think that emotional is like right up there with it.
Yeah, I agree. Or just even like emotional cheating that maybe isn't even talking about your partner, or it might even be just like telling them something about anything that I feel like, why did you share that? Or I mean, it doesn't always have to be in the vein of bad about me. It could even
If the
just
conversation's
be little,
getting too personal,
yeah,
kind of thing.
that kind of thing.
But I mean, I guess I'm thinking too, like, sometimes we all like it's more so in a group though. Like if Marina's there, like some of our friends we'll talk about some like, I don't want to say dirty stuff. That sounds weird. Intimate.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some intimate things.
Right.
That's in the setting of like a group, not like just two people having a conversation.
And your partner's there. So it's kind of like you feel protected in that we always say, like, if you wouldn't say it in front of me, just don't say it. If it's something that you wouldn't say if I'm standing right there, don't do it.
That's a good rule
And
of
that
thumb.
just feels safe. So I think that you just have to, your gut feeling. Like we had a party this weekend, the Yvonne Monet party where she was DJing.
Yeah.
I lost. Maria didn't know anyone really. It was my kids' school auction. So it's really more my people. She ended up knowing a lot of people there, but we got there and I lost her like at the very beginning. And I was like panicked because I feel like I don't want to leave her floating around this huge event without me. And it's like, I think that's the kind of stuff that builds, I could have just left her or let her find me or kept doing what I was doing. But it's like I made a huge effort to locate her, and she was, of course, fine, like talking up like 5 people. I was probably way more worried than she was. I feel like even that is like staying true.
I think so too.
Person.
And that's interesting. Like I actually have this like reoccurring dream where like I can't find my partner. Like I had the same dream like back when I was like married too, where it's like I'm at a party or something and like I can't find them.
Wow.
And it's like this panicked feeling. Yeah. So whenever like I am at an event, like at Second Friday, like Marina and I, we both do this. We kind of like make it a point to come back and like touch base with each other.
Yeah.
Like, of course we're, we're not good. Yeah. Like it just feels good to like find each other, be like, I know that we're preoccupied right now, but like, I'm still here. Kind of thing.
Here I am talking to so-and-so or pulling them into the conversation.
Yeah. Pull them into the conversation because I know sometimes like if you walk, especially at these kind of events, you walk up and you're like, oh, I don't know this person.
Yeah, they're
like,
in the middle of talking about something.
Yeah. Like it can feel a little weird if you're not like introduced as like the girlfriend in that moment.
And it's another way to kind of establish that so that there is no feeling of like somebody's kind of shady.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I like it.
No shady shit.
No shady shit. There's the name of our episode.
I
and
like
like when people act like I didn't know or I wasn't, bullshit.
Right.
Like I got to call bullshit. Like, internally when something feels like you shouldn't do it.
Like, when it feels like you're crossing the line.
You got it.
Don't fucking do it.
Don't fucking do it.
And if you are, then you need to dive deeper into what's going on in your relationship.
I know, or what's going on with you personally.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I think too, like, most of the time when there's like an affair situation, that person who's doing it has something bad. Like they're
dealing with some own internal shit.
Yeah. Confidence issues, needing validation. What is it? Anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's a good place to wrap up.
I think so too. We'll give you a peek at my stinky
hi, Charlie.
That's been in my lap the whole time.
We got to catch up on Charlie on the next episode.
I know, right? Charlie update.
Exactly. All right. Well, have a good one.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Want to support the Lesbian Chronicles podcast? Rate us and write a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify.
We love listener feedback. If you'd like to share your story, email us at melissaandallie@gmail.com. That's Melissa, MELISA, and Allie, ALLI, @gmail.com. Or follow us on Instagram at Lesbian Chronicles.